David Benavidez just picked up his 30th straight win yesterday against David Morrell for the WBA light heavyweight title. I was very excited for this fight. Two young guys in their prime, undefeated, willing to put a loss on their record to go at it, to chase greatness. I made a video a couple days ago saying that this had fight of the year potential, and well, for like the first 4 or 5 rounds, it really was looking like the fight of the year. Morrell was looking very good for a guy who only had 11 fights, landing very good shots. It was very technical, but they were landing, like I said, very good shots to both of them. But the thing with Benavidez is he's a slow fighter. He likes to start his fights slow. He likes to lose some of the rounds. I mean, I don't know if he likes it, but he just does. All right, that's just how it works, right? He loses those first couple rounds. He did it with Caleb Plant. He did it with Vosdick, and he did it with Morrell. He looks shaky in those first couple rounds. You think, all right, this Benavidez guy's overrated. That's what people think all the time, right? In those first 4 or 5 rounds, right? He should be doing a lot more. Well, then he picks it up in the later rounds. His best attribute is, of course, breaking down his guys in the later rounds. He doesn't have that one-punch power, but he's still a powerful guy to wear down his opponent, break down his opponent, stay conditioned. I mean, a guy like Benavidez, he's like a skinny fat dude, right? I mean, he was fat when he was younger, had that loose skin, and he's still like a fat dude. It's weird. He has a weird build. The fact that he was able to make 168 his whole career before light heavyweight was beyond me, but even at light heavyweight, he's a really weird build. But the fact that he could be a complete fighter, be fast, be so conditioned, is really amazing. I mean, he's really like a freak of nature, honestly. They call him the monster for a reason. He was landing pretty good shots on Morrell. Morrell was taking them as well, of course, but those big uppercuts that Benavidez was landing. Big uppercuts. Morrell was taking them, and it's making me a little concerned, right? If Benavidez wants to continue in the light heavyweight division, potentially move up to cruiserweight like he mentioned as well, if he wants to keep a guy like Artur Beterbiev off of him, if he wants to keep a guy like Dimitri Bivol off of him, same thing with Canelo, he's going to have to get more power. So that brings up the question. Just how far could David Benavidez go? His first 2 fights at light heavyweight, which was of course Vosdick and then Morrell last night, were okay. Good performances when it comes to outboxing, but we expected more with Benavidez. We expected at least a knockdown with this Morrell fight. We expected more shots to land on Morrell last night that would really hurt Morrell. They really looked like they didn't. I mean, Benavidez just won that fight off simply outboxing. And that's good. You could be good at just outboxing. You could win fights at just outboxing. But Morrell's not on the level as a guy like Bivol, who Bivol, in my opinion, will outbox Benavidez. Artur Beterbiev could potentially outbox Benavidez as well, but not only that, he has the power. I don't think Benavidez is overrated at all. He's a complete fighter. But what I do think is a bit overrated is his actual power to keep guys off him. I don't think that he has that power. That power came with him when he bumped up to light heavyweight. He will need that power if he's going to want to be undisputed at light heavyweight. He just has to be. He just has to be. He doesn't have the boxing skills to be like a guy like Bivol, who obviously Bivol's not the most powerful guy either. Bivol's very, very skilled and could outbox anyone. I mean, very close fight with Artur Beterbiev. That fight could have went either way. Then we have the rematch coming up. I'm expecting Bivol to really have a good close fight with him as well, potentially outbox him again. But Benavidez ain't on that level yet when it comes to simply outboxing. If he's going to want to beat a guy like Bivol, Benavidez does, he has to have power. He has to be a guy like Artur Beterbiev. He has to, make Bivol respect him, keep Bivol off of him. Benavidez would have to do the same thing with, of course, Beterbiev as well. Canelo Alvarez, of course, that's been the biggest conversation for the past 2 or 3 years. Why Turkey wanted to make this Canelo versus Crawford fight is beyond me. He should have been pushing money to make this Benavidez and Canelo fight. Of course, this fight should have been made 1 or 2 years ago, right? He was a mandatory for Canelo. I mean, number 1 at the super middleweight division. Canelo ducked him. I'll admit, I'm a big Canelo fan, but he's been ducking Benavidez. And I get why, right? If I was Canelo, I'd get why. A young, hungry dude, powerful, big. This is at 168 I'm talking about. If he was to fight Canelo, I'm assuming it would be at 175. If Benavidez can make that cut, that'd be insane. If Benavidez can really cut back down to 168, I think that's in Canelo's favor. Right now, at 175, I thought when Benavidez first made that announcement, he was bumping up to 175, I thought, Canelo's days of ever beating Benavidez if they were to fight is over. I mean, Benavidez had that power, very powerful dude at 168. I thought, okay, he's going to be even more powerful at 175. He's going to get bigger, be more natural in his weight, not have to be weight drained. Not the case so far. So, after last night's fight, he showed some things. A lot of, dropping the hands, not having enough power. A guy like Canelo, very good chin. So, like I mentioned, if you want to beat a guy like Bivol, you got to make him respect him. Because you ain't going to outbox him, you're going to have to keep him off you with power. Same thing with Beterbiev. And I'm going to have to say the same thing with Canelo. Before this fight, I had Benavidez beating Canelo at 175. If Canelo was to fight Benavidez right now after last night's fight, David Morrell, I still gotta favor Canelo. I mean, Canelo has a very good chin, one of the best chins of all time. I'm honest when I say that. So Benavidez is not going to put Canelo on his butt. He's not going to stop Canelo. And Canelo's a very good boxer as well. Much more powerful boxer. We saw what Canelo did to, of course, Kovalev at light heavyweight. Kovalev was a bit older, but he had power to knock him down, knock him out as well. Bivol got outboxed. Bivol just another level. We already discussed that. But either way, Canelo versus Benavidez at 175. Before this Morrell fight, I had Benavidez. After the Morrell fight, I'm back to Canelo. I think Canelo beats Benavidez at 175. I think Bivol beats Benavidez at 175. And I think Beterbiev beats Benavidez at 175. Nothing wrong with it. For now, Benavidez could beat these guys, but he has to develop more power. All right, it's crazy. The fact that his power kind of lost once he bumped up to 175 is crazy, right? It's crazy that Benavidez kind of went down in power as he bumped up. Usually it's the opposite. But he should have put Vosnik down. He should have stopped Vosnik. He didn't. Morrell, I was expecting a late stoppage. Didn't happen. It is what it is. But he can't have fights like that against Canelo, Beterbiev, and Bivol if he wants to be undisputed light heavyweight champ. That's how far I think Benavidez could go right now. Up to cruiserweight, different story. If he was to fight Jai Apataya, he's getting stopped. All right? If he wants to fight Zerto, he's getting stopped. He needs to stay at 175 right now until he develops actual power that can make his opponents respect him, stun them, hurt them, keep him off Benavidez. He needs to do that, or we might not see an undisputed Benavidez. We might not see a cruiserweight champion Benavidez. He needs to develop that power at 175 ASAP. He's probably going to fight the winner of Bivol vs. Benavidez. He needs to get that power as soon as possible, ASAP, if he wants to have a chance at beating those guys. Okay? Let me know down below what you think of David Benavidez, what you think about the fight last night. Crazy news last night. Luka Doncic getting traded to the Lakers too. Isn't that crazy? I don't know how that happened. What the Mavs were thinking. Either way, best boxing content on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, guys. I'm out. Peace.